Tonight, the sands of Aloma will swallow a kingdom and wake a queen. 16 years ago, this very night, the same moon hung over the same desert. But after that night, a grave opened in the soil of Aloma, and a grave opened in the heart of a mother. A father lost his head for protecting a secret. A mother lost her mind for searching one. And a newborn princess, the true heir, vanished like smoke in a sandstorm. My name is Ada, but the name my grandmother gave me was never my real name. My real name was hidden from me from the day I opened my eyes in a remote outland village. My grandmother, Mama Ife, took me in 16 years ago. She calls me her daughter. The village calls me her daughter. But every morning when she looks at me, I see something else in her eyes. The look of a woman carrying a crown of guilt she never put down. Every morning, the same spot on my neck glows, faint but burning. Mama Ife says it is just a birthmark. I have believed her, until today. Mama Ife sat me down tonight by the cooking fire. She was crying. She was crying the way she always cries when she thinks I am not watching. Only this time, I was. Ada, the stars tonight are wrong. Something is coming. The throne of Aloma is weeping. 3 armies are crossing the desert tonight, looking for a daughter they lost 16 years ago. If they find you, my child, they will not bring you home. They will bring you to a grave. I said, then let them dig. I am tired of running. She gripped my arms. Then go, but promise me one thing. When they place the 7 stones on the altar of the ancestors, do not step forward until the moon turns red. Step too early, and the usurper's witch will see you in the sand. And the last light of Aloma will drown in your blood. Inside the royal palace of Aloma, the war drums were beating. King Faji sat upon the throne, except it was not his throne. It belonged to his elder brother, Chief Sadiq, who had claimed the crown after King Faji went into exile 16 years ago. Captain Bayo, the most loyal soldier in the kingdom, stepped forward. My king, the banners of the outlands march toward us. 3 armies. Sadiq thinks the throne has been empty for 16 years. Sadiq thinks there is no heir. Queen Aduni laughed, the kind of laugh that cuts glass. No heir? My sons died in the war that your war started. If there is an heir, why should anyone bleed for her? The High Elder replied softly, because there is no heir, my queen. The princess is dead. Only the throne remains. Captain Bayo slammed his spear into the marble floor. Then by dawn, every blade will know its master. Lift your swords, for the ashes of our fathers. Behind the west door, in Chief Sadiq's chamber, the air was dim and candlelit. So you have returned, desert witch. You promised my children would be safe. The witch's eyes glowed. And they are. By morning, I will send the sand raiders. I will blind the usurper's army before they even reach the oasis. But remember, Sadiq, one day, I will return to collect what is mine. Sadiq sneered. Take what you want. Gold, take it. Honor, take it. Take anything, just leave my children alone. Dawn, the open desert. 3 armies charge. Hold positions! Triangle formation! West side, triangle! Then silence. The wind, the sand, nothing else. Captain Bayo looked out across the battlefield. There was no army. There were no bodies. There was no blood. only one flag, driven into the heart of the pass, a lion's head. By every god in the sky, that is the sigil of King Fadeyi. The dead are fighting for Oloma. Another princess has arrived. They keep arriving, my lord. Some barefoot, some in borrowed clothes, some in jewelry they stole from dead queens. 7, 8, 9, 11. Prince Shakiru watched from the shadows of the hall. How will we know which one is the real one? The high priest stepped forward. The throne has never forgotten its master. Tonight, we will let the throne decide. In the holy crypt of Aloma, the high priest lifted a curtain. Beneath it, 7 black diamonds, ancient, cut by the first king of Aloma 1,000 years ago. Each one answers only one thing: the blood of the true royal line. If a false princess touches them, they turn cold as the grave. If the true princess touches them, they ignite into gold. And the throne will sing the name of its rightful owner. One by one, the women came forward. The first, Ada, touched the stones. Silence. Cold. Black. The court murmured. The second Ada. Same. The third. Same. Suspicion crept into the hall. Some of the queens began to weep. Then, from the back of the hall, barefoot, in servant's clothes, the smell of firewood still on her hair, Ada stepped through the door. The crowd did not recognize her. The guards did not move. No one knew her name, but the throne knew, and it began to glow. I need to take you back, 16 years ago tonight, the night everything ended and everything began. The royal palace of Aloma was glowing with celebration. King Fadehi and Queen Aduni were waiting for the birth of their first child. Amina, the eldest, most loyal midwife in the kingdom, held the newborn and whispered to her, "I will protect you. I swear on my life. Whoever comes for you, they will not find you." King Fade placed a golden crown on his own head and said, "Tonight, heaven has poured a light into the blood of Aloma. I will guard it with my life." Queen Aduni smiled. "Daughter, today I gave you to this world with my hands, but I am giving you to the throne with my heart. A mother's child can never die." Behind the west door, the assassins sharpened their blades. Chief Sadiq had given the order, quietly, coldly, with no hesitation. Then Amina appeared in the royal chamber. "My king, your daughter must come with me tonight. If Chief Sadiq's men storm this hall, your blood will not be the only blood on this floor." King Fade nodded. Amina wrapped the newborn in a single cloth, removed a pearl necklace from her own neck, the royal beads, and placed them around the baby's neck. Then she vanished into the desert, carrying the future queen of Aloma. Amina arrived 3 nights later at a stone village deep in the mountain outlands. There, she found the only true friend she had ever had, Mama Ife, a widow with no children of her own, a woman whose only grief was an empty house. Amina fell to her knees. "My sister, I need your help. This child is no ordinary child. She is the rightful heir of Aloma. From tonight, you must call her Ada. For 16 years, you must never speak her real name. Otherwise, this child will share the fate of every hunter who ever crossed the desert unprepared." Mama Ife wept. I will raise her as my own. You have my word. 16 years. 16 years in that mountain village. Ada carried firewood for old women. She taught village children to read. She carried water for strangers. No one in that village knew she was a princess, least of all, Ada herself. Mama Ife said it every night. Ada, my child, on the morning you wake up and the royal mark on your neck burns silver instead of red, that is the day you leave this house. Until then, you are mine. Ada would laugh and say, Mama, you always say this. A trader came to the village one summer. His name was Hassan. He brought jewelry, fine cloth, spices no villager had ever tasted. He brought stories from the desert. And when his eyes landed on Ada, he froze. His hands trembled. He whispered to his head guard, That is the face. Ada saw him staring and laughed. What is the matter, trader? You look at me like I am a ghost. Hassan said, You remind me of a queen I once served. Behind his smile, Hassan was no traitor. 16 years earlier, he had served Chief Sadiq. He had carried the order that sent Amina into the desert. Now he had a new master, Prince Shakiru. And the new order was simple. Find the princess, bring her back, or bury her in the desert. That night, Ada wrapped a scarf around her neck, because the royal mark was glowing brighter than she had ever seen. Mama Ife saw it. She turned pale. Ada, the mark is silver. Ada said, What does that mean? Mama Ife lowered her voice. It means the throne of Aloma is calling you home. Ada whispered, Mama, I am not a fool. I have known for years that you were not telling me everything. Who am I? Mama Ife started to speak, then stopped. Then spoke again. Ada, you are my daughter, and you will always be my daughter. But the truth of your blood, you must walk it yourself. Ada nodded. Then I will walk it tonight. Ada walked into the desert alone that night. The moonlight hit the royal mark, and it blazed silver, lighting the sand in front of her. She had no horse, no sword, no map. Just the royal beads around her neck, the only proof she carried. By morning, she reached the border of Aloma. Hassan the trader was already there, waiting with a band of masked soldiers. Ada smiled and raised her hands. I have come to answer the throne's call. Hassan's masked captain drew his blade. Then come with us, quietly. Ada did not move. I will come with you, but not in chains. Inside the palace, Queen Aduni was kneeling in the royal garden. 16 years of grief had bent her body, but not her spirit. Captain Bayo approached. My queen, a stranger has crossed the border. She wears the royal beads. Queen Aduni shook her head. The royal beads were lost the night my daughter was stolen. Captain Bayo said, Then you need to see this. When Queen Aduni stepped onto the balcony, she saw Ada. She saw the beads. She saw the royal mark burning silver under the moon. Her knees buckled. She gripped the railing. My daughter, she whispered. That is my daughter. Ada was brought into the throne room. 11 women stood there, all wearing borrowed beads, all claiming the same name. Queen Aduni pushed through them. She stopped in front of Ada. She touched Ada's neck, the royal mark. She touched the beads. She cupped Ada's face. You have my eyes. You have my nose. You have the mark my mother gave me. You are mine. Ada hesitated. I am told I was stolen. I am told the throne of Aloma is waiting for me. But I do not know you. I have never seen this palace. I have never known the taste of this sand. How can you be my mother? Queen Aduni pulled her close. Because, child, I never stopped bleeding for you. Not one night, not one day, not one of these 16 years. Ada fell into her arms. The throne room was silent. The guards lowered their spears. Even the masked soldiers of Hassan the traitor stepped back. Because no blade is sharp enough to cut a mother who has just found her child. Prince Shakiru watched all of this from the shadows of the West Corridor. His father had died 10 years ago. He had grown up believing the throne belonged to him. He had grown up believing Princess Gulna, his younger sister, was the rightful heir. Shakiru turned to his chief advisor. If this girl is real, Gulna has no claim. Sadiq's blood dies with her. The advisor said, then we must finish what Sadiq started. Send Hassan, tonight. Shakiru said, tell Hassan, if the throne's light turns gold tonight, there can only be two outcomes. Either this girl rules, or she does not live past dawn. The high priest raised the curtain in the holy crypt. The 7 black diamonds lay still. Tonight, he said, these stones will answer once, only once. The woman they ignite for, she is the heir. The woman they remain black for, she is an impostor. Step forward. One by one, the 11 women walked up to the altar. The first touched the stones. Nothing. The second, nothing. The third, the fourth, the fifth, nothing. Suspicion turned to whispers. The court began to boil. Then Ada stepped up. Her hands were trembling. She placed her palm on the first diamond. Nothing. The second, nothing. The crowd began to laugh. Then she placed her palm on the third, and the stone lit up. Not just gold, pure, liquid, molten gold. The seventh, the room shook. The high priest fell backward. The throne at the end of the hall, ancient stone, cold for 16 years, bloomed into fire. Queen Aduni screamed, Aloma, your daughter is home. Prince Shakiru pushed through the crowd. He drew his blade. Stop! The throne of Aloma belongs to my sister, Princess Gulna. These stones are old tricks. This girl is a fraud. Ada did not flinch. The stones did not pick me, Shakiru. The stones belong to me. They always have. The royal beads are not fake. The royal mark is not fake. Your father stole this throne, and your sister wears a crown that was never hers to wear. Shakiru's blade shook. Do you know what you are asking? You are asking the court of Aloma to humiliate a prince. Ada stepped toward him. I am asking the court of Aloma to remember its king. Where is King Fajeh? Shakiru froze. My father. Ada cut him off. Your father stole the throne. Your uncle King Fajeh is the rightful king, and you have spent 16 years erasing his name from history. Shakiru raised his blade. The guards raised theirs. The hall trembled. Captain Bayo stepped between them. Enough. Tonight, the guardians of Aloma will not raise their swords against each other. Shakiru, lower your blade. Ada, speak your piece. The great doors of the throne room burst open. A walking stick tapped against the marble floor. King Faji, older now, half blind, half broken, stepped into the hall. 16 years in exile had carved every line in his face, but he still wore the lion sigil of Aloma on his chest. Shakiru's blade fell. Queen Aduni screamed, "Faji!" She ran to him. He caught her. He looked at Ada. He did not need to ask. He walked toward her slowly. He lifted the royal beads from her neck. He looked at them. He turned them over in his hands. These were made for my daughter on the night she was born. I have carried this memory for 16 years like a wound that would not close. He placed them back around her neck. Tonight, my daughter, the wound closes. Ada fell to her knees. Father, I am sorry I did not come sooner. Faji lifted her up. You came exactly when Aloma needed you. Not one day too early, not one day too late. Shakiru stood in the corner of the hall, his blade still drawn, his face white. Faji walked to him. Nephew. Shakiru lowered his eyes. Uncle. Faji said, Your father took my throne. Your sister wore my crown. You spent 16 years calling yourself a prince of a kingdom that was never yours to rule. Tonight, the truth is here. What do you have to say? Shakiru's voice cracked. I have nothing to say. The throne has spoken. The stones have spoken. I am defeated. Faji nodded. Good. Then live, but live as a servant of the crown you tried to take. From this night, Shakiru, you are no prince of Aloma. You are a guardian of the throne. Nothing more. Shakiru's blade clattered to the floor. The court did not cheer. The court did not boo. The court simply watched, because every war ends in silence before it ends in peace. Ada turned to the corner of the hall. Mama Ife stood there, in the same dusty shawl she had worn for 16 years. Ada ran to her. Ada fell at her feet. Mama Ife lifted her up. Stand, child. You are a princess tonight. Ada said, You raised me. You fed me. You taught me how to carry firewood. You taught me how to read. You taught me how to stand in a storm. Without you, the throne would be empty. Mama Ife smiled, the first real smile Ada had ever seen on her face. Then go rule, my daughter. I will go back to the village. But one day, when you grow tired of crowns, come back. I will still be cooking porridge for you. And the scarf I made for your neck, I will keep it under my pillow for you. Ada laughed through her tears. I will come back, Mama. The throne may own my name, but you own my heart. Princess Golna stepped forward. She was 16, the same age as Ada, Shakiru's younger sister. She had grown up believing she was the heir. She had worn the stolen crown. She had lived in the royal gardens as the daughter of a thief. Golna knelt in front of Ada. I did not know. I did not know my father stole your throne. I did not know I was raised on your mother's grief. Please, punish me if you must, but I had no part in it. Ada looked down at her. Ada reached down and lifted her up. I am not here to punish you, Golna. You are a daughter, same as me. We are both victims of our father's war. From tonight, you are my sister, not by blood, but by the only thing that matters, mercy. Golna wept. The court wept with her. Queen Aduni stood at the center of the throne room. The royal beads glowed on Ada's neck. The royal mark burned silver under the moonlight. Aduni spoke to the kingdom. People of Aloma, for 16 years I have walked these halls with a hole in my chest the size of a newborn. Tonight, that hole is closed. Tonight, my daughter wears the crown she was born to wear. But tonight is not only about my family. Tonight is about Aloma's future. The throne of Aloma will not be ruled by blood alone. It will be ruled by truth. It will be ruled by mercy. It will be ruled by the daughters we stole and the daughters we returned. From this night, every daughter in Aloma will be told, "You are not a vessel. You are not a dowry. You are a queen in waiting." The throne of Aloma belongs to whoever has the courage to claim it and the heart to deserve it. The kind of peace that comes only after a 16-year storm has finally broken. Ada stood on the balcony of the palace as dawn broke over the desert. The same desert she had crossed the night before, barefoot, in servant's clothes, carrying firewood in her hair. Tonight, the same desert was silent. The war was over. The throne was restored. But as Ada looked east, across the sand, she saw something. 12 black flags on the horizon. The sigil of Chief Sadiq. Not Shakiru, not dead, not gone. Chief Sadiq, who had left Aloma 16 years ago to die in exile, was not dead. He had built a new army in the eastern desert, and the 12 black flags meant one thing. He was coming home. And he wanted the throne back, and he wanted Ada's head. Ada whispered, "Then let him come. The stones have already chosen. The throne has already chosen. Aloma has already chosen." She turned to Captain Bayo. "Bayo, wake the warriors. The grave they dug for me 16 years ago, they will be the grave they sleep in tonight. Tell Mama Ife, when the sun goes down, I will come home for porridge." Subscribe and turn on the bell. Share this with anyone who loves ancient royal stories. The next chapter of Aloma begins now. End of part 1. Under my pillow for you. Ada laughed through her tears. "I will come back, Mama. The throne may own my name, but you own my heart." Princess Gulna stepped forward. She was 16, the same age as Ada, Shakiru's younger sister. She had grown up believing she was the heir. She had worn the stolen crown. She had lived in the royal gardens as the daughter of a thief. Gulna knelt in front of Ada. "I did not know. I did not know my father stole your throne. I did not know I was raised on your mother's grief. Please, punish me if you must, but I had no part in it." Ada looked down at her, then reached down and lifted her up. "I am not here to punish you, Gulna. You are a daughter, same as me. We are both victims of our father's war. From tonight, you are my sister. Not by blood, but by the only thing that matters: mercy." Gulna wept. The court wept with her. Queen Aduni stood at the center of the throne room. The royal beads glowed on Ada's neck. The royal mark burned silver under the moonlight. Aduni spoke to the kingdom. "People of Aloma, for 16 years I have walked these halls with a hole in my chest the size of a newborn. Tonight, that hole is closed. Tonight, my daughter wears the crown she was born to wear. But tonight is not only about my family. Tonight is about Aloma's future. The throne of Aloma will not be ruled by blood alone. It will be ruled by truth. It will be ruled by mercy. It will be ruled by the daughters we stole and the daughters we returned. From this night, every daughter in Aloma will be told, "You are not a vessel. You are not a dowry. You are a queen in waiting. The throne of Aloma belongs to whoever has the courage to claim it and the heart to deserve it." The high priest raised his hands. The 7 black diamonds shimmered one last time. The throne of Aloma began to hum, a deep, ancient sound, like a song the kingdom had forgotten. The sound of 100 generations of kings. The sound of a throne that had waited 16 years for the right hand to touch it. Ada stepped forward. She placed her hand on the throne. The throne sang out. The hall glowed. The desert outside the palace glowed. From every corner of Aloma, from every village, every market, every mountain outpost, the royal beads around the neck of every woman carrying the blood of Aloma gleamed. For one single moment, the entire kingdom of Aloma glowed silver and gold. And then, silence. Peace. The kind of peace that comes only after a 16-year storm has finally broken. Ada stood on the balcony of the palace as dawn broke over the desert, the same desert she had crossed the night before, barefoot, in servant's clothes, carrying firewood in her hair. Tonight, the same desert was silent. The war was over. The throne was restored. But as Ada looked east across the sand, she saw something. 12 black flags on the horizon. The sigil of Chief Sadiq, not Shakiru, not dead, not gone. Chief Sadiq, who had left Aloma 16 years ago to die in exile, was not dead. He had built a new army in the eastern desert, and the 12 black flags meant one thing. He was coming home, and he wanted the throne back, and he wanted Ada's head. Ada whispered, "Then let him come. The stones have already chosen. The throne has already chosen. Aloma has already chosen." She turned to Captain Bio. "Bio, wake the warriors. The grave they dug for me 16 years ago, they will be the grave they sleep in tonight. Tell Mama Ife, when the sun goes down, I will come home for porridge." Subscribe and turn on the bell. Share this with anyone who loves ancient royal stories. The next chapter of Aloma begins now. End of Part 1.
Subscribe for more videos. Turn on notifications.